Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I'm here with the team news and also Mikel Arteta's press conference. Of course, he spoke about the injuries, Thomas Partey, Alexander Zinchenko, but also have some team news and injury updates from the Arsenal doctor. Now, it looks like Thomas Partey's absence and Alexander Zinchenko's absence from the squad yesterday was a matter of precaution and not something worse as it was reported earlier on or before the game, because there were a couple of rumors about what had actually happened. Thomas Partey, especially, we know it's not going very well, but Alexander Zinchenko was there on the game, and we saw him celebrate with the team. But the doctor says it was just a precaution. It was not something serious. So there are no surgeries. There are no long-term absentees in Alexander Zinchenko and Thomas Partey. It was a precaution. But one thing I want to talk about here, lads, in this game, before we enter Mikel Arteta's press conference, is there is need for a defensive midfielder. There is need for an addition in the midfield. Whether Arsenal have signed Fabio Vieira, whether Arsenal have signed 10 other midfielders, we need a central midfielder and we need a defensive midfielder. Those two positions cannot go uncatered for. They cannot go untouched this window. Mikel knows it. That's why he played Mohamed Elneny yesterday, and the quality absolutely dropped in that team. I'm not going to be just one of those Arsenal fans just keep on shouting, we won the game, we are on top of the league. For info, there was a drop in quality, and even when Thomas Partey has not been at his best, he's actually better than Mohamed Elneny, who's 100% fit. So anyway, I'm going to be giving you the team news around the team. Anyone who's injured, what Mikel has said about Emile Smith-Rowe, and the lack of minutes. I don't think it's time to panic for Emile Smith-Rowe. Many people coming out to say, Emile has dropped out of the team. I think he dropped out of the team because of an injury, but also he dropped out of the team last campaign when Gabriel Martinelli played better than him. And I think I love Mikel Arteta's reaction, because he says Emile has to earn a place back in the team, and that is the standard. That is how it's supposed to be. You must earn your place back into the squad. But anyway, let's get into Mikel Arteta's press conference and see what he spoke about yesterday. First and foremost, on the match, he said, "I'm really happy with the performance, with the attitude and the mentality that the team has showed. I think we were on top of the game, so it was about being patient, and the goal would come because we deserved it. We had to avoid mistakes. We made an error, and it cost us the goal. But even though that happened, I think the team showed that against adversity, and Gabi individually, how we continue to play with the supporters and with the support that we all have in the stadium right now, it makes things much easier, and the team deserves the win. It is as simple as that." Now, look, I think Mikel is right here, but my disagreement here is we deserved the goal. I don't think we deserved the goal. We kept the ball well. We moved it about well. But in terms of deserving the goal, that is when you ask yourself, how many big chances did we have? How many clear-cut chances did we have? Yes, we had the Bukayo Saka chance, which was saved by Burnley. Now, apart from that one, I'm really struggling to find any other clear-cut chances that Arsenal did create in that game. But I think overall we were on top of the game. We were absolutely brilliant. It's kind of a blueprint that Mikel Arteta wants to inject in this team, and we are now seeing it. And we are now, whenever we look at this Arsenal side, we can tell this is the kind of this kind of football we are playing. This is the identity of this football club. This is who we are. We love keeping the ball, and we love hiding it, and we love moving it about from the left to the right, down through the middle. That is Arsenal Football Club. And look, I think two of my most strong, points of criticism to Mikel Arteta have been dealt with. Number one, I said you need to have a starting 11. Which manager doesn't have a starting 11? You cannot keep on. Even Pep Guardiola, the master of changing lineups and trying out new things and this and that. At least he has 8 consistent players in his team. And that was my problem with Mikel Arteta last season, but starting last season, he started having an 11 that was taking shape. And in this one, if I exclude Ben White from right back, I exclude Granit Xhaka from midfield, and exclude El Neni from DM, replace him with Thomas Partey, we have a consistent 11. And then the other thing is the identity. You must have an identity. Liverpool have it, Brighton have it, Wolves have it, Manchester City have it, United don't have it at the moment, Spurs have it. Every team that you admire has an identity. And if you look at teams that do not have a particular way of playing football, they are struggling. There is no team that has had a good run, a good spell without a clear identity. You will struggle. So we have the identity. The blueprint of Mikel Arteta is coming around. I just hope we can keep on performing better. Against Aston Villa, we can't score many goals because they concede. I just keep a clean sheet. Just that. Just keep the ball better, create the chances, and move on. Beautiful football. And I agree with Mikel there. We are on top of the game, but my disagreement with him is I do not think we were deserving the goal before we scored it. We only deserved the goals we scored. Now, on Gabriel and the reaction to making an error, he said it's just the reaction of everybody after the goal. Straight away, the stadium gives the support to that player, gives belief, and then the player has to show courage to continue playing. This is part of football. Mistakes are part of it, and it's going to continue happening. But it's how you respond, and I'm really, really pleased with the way we responded. It is not a coincidence with Gabi, because the way he's changed his mentality and the way he approaches every single day is different to a year or to a goal. Now, look, I spoke about this in my match reaction earlier today in the morning, and I said the beauty of Gabriel Magalhaes in that game is holding his head high and deciding that whatever happens, I will get this goal back. I mean, it's a debt. That is a debt. And that is one of the most difficult debts to pay, because literally you're not even a striker, you're not even a midfielder. The amount of times you're going to get into the penalty area are not as many. So as a defender, you're always praying, can we get a set piece so that I can get my head, on something? Can we get a corner? Can we get a dead ball situation? And it was lucky. I mean, there is part of luck there, because let's be honest, Gabriel Martinelli's corners yesterday were absolutely horrendous. I think he had 1 or 2 good ones, and that was one of them. And even when it's a good one, I mean, you're lucky that Leno doesn't punch it away. He mispunches it. And then you're still lucky that it doesn't hit William Saliba on the head. It actually hits William Saliba on the hand. It hits William Saliba on the head, right? So, lucky. But I think what Gabriel showed is, no matter what happens, I will try until the end. That is the attitude. That is the character you want. Or someone remind me to put William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes in my FPL, because I don't have them. I have Martin Odegaard and Gabriel Jesus. I think I will add William Saliba this season. He's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I think Mikel is right there with Gabriel Magalhaes. The support from the home fans is incredible. And I think it's this Arsenal team that is now giving us the strength to support them, the ability to believe in ourselves and to believe in them. And also, I think right now, if Arsenal lost the game, it wouldn't matter. It definitely wouldn't matter. Yes, it matters on the table, because we would fall to probably 5th or 6th, but that's it. That's it. It's not, it won't be as strong as it was losing a game last campaign or 2 years ago. It would be very, very different. On if the error that led to the goal shouldn't have been allowed to happen, and Mikel says that is clear. So we've spoken about this honestly all the time, and we've said you don't concede these kind of errors. You don't have to concede this kind of mistakes. They're embarrassing. That is the first thing. They are absolutely embarrassing. Nothing more, nothing less. Because look, you're playing Fulham, and Fulham, by that time, I think they were limited to around one shot on target. And then you give away that. It's embarrassing. It just waters down the claims of quality that we are making. It just waters everything down. So it's for me. I love the response from Mikel. Should the mistake happen, it's clear. It should not happen. There is no room in this Arsenal side for such mistakes. Watch Manchester City. Watch Liverpool. They do lose games, don't they? But not such kind of slippery, right? Get the ball, be confident whether you have a passing lane or you do not have, whether you have someone to pass into or you do not have. You need to be strong. You need to hold your breath. You need to hold your calm. And then, if whether you're under pressure or not, you need to be strong. So I think Gabriel knows that. No room for such mistakes. On the changes Gabriel Magalhaes has made so far, he says the way he looks at himself every day, that is the most important thing in his life, apart from his little daughter and his family, and how consistent he is every day in his habits and how much he really wants to become one of the best is something that is really, really impressive. Interesting there. On our response to being a goal down, it says we have grown up. We have more alternatives. I think we have matured as well. Playing in front of the supporters helps because they're driving you as well, and then a lot of that is about the belief and the confidence that you can do it, and really believe that you can do it. And now we have that belief. Look, I think we've really grown a lot. I think the team has grown a lot, but Mikel Arteta, for God's sake, he has really grown a lot. I just loved the substitution, and I just loved this. I loved the mathematics of taking off Kieran Tierney and introducing Eddie Nketiah. Because when you take off Kieran Tierney, Saka then switches into left back, but then Granit Xhaka is there to provide cover for Saka. So literally, you have not lost that defensive, quality by taking off Kieran Tierney, who didn't have a good game, by the way. And then you're staying in a back three with Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes, and William Saliba. So you're keeping a back three with Saka playing now as a wing back, and then Xhaka covering for him when he bumps forward. I loved it. I love the idea, and the impact of Eddie Nketiah was amazing, absolutely amazing. I just pray that he continues like that. It's a good road for development, and in the future, I'm very sure we will get some good money in Eddie Nketiah, like 50 million. I mean, English players cost that much, don't they? Ben White 50, Eddie Nketiah. If he can't score 15 goals in one campaign, then you can sell him to another club like Brighton at 50 million. Can Brighton buy someone at 50 million? I mean, Wolves just did, so Brighton could. So look, the point here for me, lads, is the change. Last campaign, when we were a goal down, it was hard for us to come back. When it was 70 minutes and it was 0-0, it was 1-1, it was always hard for us to win the game. What I saw yesterday was an Arsenal team that was expectant of a goal, an Arsenal crowd in the stands that was expectant of a goal. We were so sure we were gonna score, and I don't know where the confidence was coming from, but it's like we had not considered a goal. Right? Yes, there was a rush when we conceded. There was some added fire to the pot, which of course you want because you want it to boil quicker. But apart from that, it was as if we were gonna score anyway. It doesn't feel like a late winner because it felt like we were always gonna score it. And that is something I've learned from Manchester City. When they're 2-0 down, it doesn't matter to them. They keep on playing the way they play. They keep on moving the ball around, and then they will create spaces and they will get chances. The only difference is that they are very clinical. Arsenal could have won that game 4-0, 4-1, sorry, right? Eddie Nketiah should have scored 2. Gabriel Magalhaes scored. Odegaard scored. It should have been 5. It honestly should have been 5. Because Martinelli had a chance at goal. He crosses back that. He cuts that back across goal. It's in the back of the net. Honestly, it's the back of the net. So I think just be more clinical, and then coming back from 1-0 down, 2-0 down, will become that easy because we always create the chances. On the connection with us supporters, he said, I don't know any top teams, winning teams that don't have that connection with their supporters. I just had a person that I really like, that I love, that I haven't seen for a while. It's the first time that he's been at the stadium for 2 years, and he says it's the best he's had since Highbury. So well done to the supporters. Incredible. Look, you just want. I'm really happy with these Arsenal fans because it's 2 decades, 2 good decades, ever since we challenged for the Premier League. 2 good decades, right? And during that period of time, we've not won a UEFA Champions League, but we've declined from qualifying every single season to not qualifying anymore. We've not won a Europa League. We've just gone from qualifying for Europa League to not qualifying. So literally, this is a team that gives you nothing to support in the past 2 decades. But we've been very consistent. We've been there for the team. And that is something that, many clubs don't have, honestly. The fan base at Arsenal is fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. And the fact that when William Saliba, scored an own goal, we sang praises for him. And Gabriel Magalhaes, gave away an error leading to goal, and we sang praises. Shows you that we are not here to support the win. We are here to support the team. So regardless of what happens, they know we are moving in the right direction. The fans believe we are moving in the right direction, right? And I told you, I don't hope to hear myself or see myself writing or screaming Mikel Arteta out even if we lose 5 games in a row. I want to be better than that. So I think it was truly amazing. On Martin Odegaard's performance, he said, influence and in difficult moments, take the ball and make things happen. And that's what is exactly done. Look, I've spoken about Martin Odegaard, and I said the role he has in this Arsenal team is very, very similar to the role Kevin De Bruyne is having at Manchester City. Take matters in your hands. Kevin De Bruyne won the Premier League for Manchester City. It was his solitary, courage. Pick up the ball, drive it into the penalty area, and then cross it to the back post, and then Ike Gundogan is there. That is what Odegaard has proven to be. That is what he's trying to do. We saw it against Brighton last campaign when we lost 2-1. He tried everything. He tried a free kick that hit the crossbar, a long-range shot that hit the back of the net, and a chance for Eddie Nketiah that Eddie Nketiah missed. 3 goal-scoring opportunities. If those go in, Brighton don't win that one. 3-2, it ends. And I think if it continues down that road, I want to score. I want to help you score. I want to make assists. I want to be selfish, right? Because Kevin is selfish. And it's not selfish because he's taking a shot at every opening he gets, but it's selfish because he wants the assist for himself and he wants the goals for himself. So literally, you're having a player whose selfishness is benefiting the others. I've always told you, being selfish as a footballer is not the worst thing in the world. If you are a selfish player who wants to assist every time, you want to be the one in the headlines for making goals, you're helping the team. if you want to be a selfish player for scoring the goals, you want to be in the headlines for scoring the goals all the time, you're helping the team. So Odegaard, for me, classy performance. Now, look, he also spoke about a couple of other things that are not listed here, but he spoke about Emile Smith-Rowe's game time, and he said what you have with Emile Smith-Rowe is a player who has not had a good preseason, just like Fabio Vieira. They will need time to train, and they will need time to get back into the squad. But to get back in the starting 11, they will need to earn it. And I absolutely agree, because look, currently Saka is not playing well. But Saka has earned his right to play in this Arsenal side 24/7 in preseason, not in preseason, but in the past 2 seasons, right? And that is the point. Emile Smith-Rowe has to identify that Saka is not playing well. I need to take that opportunity right now. If he doesn't do that, there is no one to blame, because the rest of the parts of the team are doing well. But can you force the manager to reconsider Saka's position in the team? Right there. And then on the team news, just like I said, we will be talking about more of the team news as we grow into the Aston Villa build up. But I will tell you, Thomas Partey has a tight thigh. Right? I'm just asking myself, guys. I mean, we need to be not deluded. We don't need to be deluded. Thomas Partey always picks up a tight thigh injury, doesn't he? Every campaign, he picks up a tight thigh injury. What's going on? I think that's the question. What's going on with Thomas Partey? Are we going to sit and wait for another fantastic season to go to destruction, or are we going to act now? Alexander Zinchenko has a knee injury, but according to the doctor, their absence was actually not because they were in the sick bay. It was kind of a precaution, literally allowing them some more time to heal before the injuries become grave. So, I mean, just rest throughout the weekend. They could come back against Aston Villa or back for the weekend against Man United. So there is nothing serious. But one thing I want to talk about here, lads, is Thomas Partey. Go to the market. We need to go to the market and find a player who can give us what Thomas Partey does. Seriously. Absolutely seriously. Thomas Partey's injury woes are not going to end now. Can you imagine that he's picked up an injury early in the season when he's actually not even playing well? I've not seen him slide into tackles, throw himself into tackles that much. He's already picked up an injury. We need to be more serious than that. We need to be more serious. Get someone to play in that area. I was very happy when Arsenal thought about Caicedo, because I thought although Caicedo is known for sale at the moment, they've just lost Bissouma Brighton. But I think this is where Arsenal are thinking. I don't care about Yuri Tielemans, by the way. Whether Tielemans doesn't come, but we get someone in defensive midfield, it would actually work out for me. Ruben Neves is available. Expensive, but he's available. And that's why I was talking about players like Houssem Aouar. That's why I was talking about that caliber of players. Players that are that versatile, can play anywhere in the midfield, right? So with Thomas Partey and Alexander Zinchenko, do not be so scared. Nothing is happening. And that is, all from me. Follow me on Instagram, Cossy_19. Twitter, Cossy Arsenal. That is where you will find me. TikTok, Cossy11. And then, of course, on YouTube, Cossy Arsenal Podcast and 90 more. I'll speak to you very soon.